Today, the Redbirds are visiting Indiana State on the MVC Game of the Week. Proudly presents the Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week. Today from the Holman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana, we have the Illinois State Redbirds against the Indiana State Sycamores. A very pleasant good day to you, along with the coach, Kevin Lehman. I'm John Rooney. Great to have you with us on the MVC Game of the Week. Coach, we have two teams going in different directions, with Illinois State winning 4 in a row, 3-0 in the league. And here is Indiana State losing 3 in a row in the conference, and Greg Lansing needs a break.
Well, John, you know, the Valley's like an 18-round heavyweight fight. We've only got 3 rounds done. The Redbirds have been brilliant at the defensive end, holding teams below 33%. And the Sycamores, that record's deceiving. Those 2 overtime losses, they have Wichita State at home, but think back a month ago, they beat number 15 Butler. So Indiana State, very dangerous in the Holman Center.
Let's talk about some key players today. Paris Lee, Mikyle McIntosh, they get top billing for Illinois State. But here's Deontay Hawkins, who's putting together quite a season.
All-tournament team at the Diamond Head Classic against Missouri State. He scores 20 points on 10.
To invest in game-changing programs that make being healthy simpler and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com. By Purina Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926. By State Farm, team up with an agent today at 800 State Farm. And by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. We're at the Holman Center. It opened in 1973. Larry Bird played his entire college basketball career right here in this building. And today we have Illinois State at Indiana State in the Missouri Valley Conference. The head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds is Dan Muller. Muller has his team huddled to our left. His 5th season, he's 87-62. And let's check out today's starting lineups. A presentation of Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Paris Lee will lead the offense. And they have Phil Fain, who has been a starter all 16 games, second in the Valley in field goal percentage at 59. And on the other side, L'Aquarius Page will come off the bench today as freshman Bronson Kessinger will make his first career start for the Sycamores. And the head coach of the Sycamores, terrific gentleman Greg Lansing. In his 7th season, 115-97 record. He spent 8 seasons with the program as assistant head coach and 3 years as associate head coach before taking over the program altogether. Let's check the keys to the game made possible by Grinnell Mutual Insurance, where we provide a policy of working together.
Well, we talked about Illinois State's defense. Defense has to travel if you're going to win in this league. They have been exceptional. The Redbirds, and Dan Miller says, we have to understand to play through 40 minutes. You have to run through the finish line. In the Valley, you can't run up to it. For Indiana State, their bigs got to get in the boards, John. They have a -15 in those 3 losses in the Valley. Scott is rebounding for them. Clemens is rebounding for them. The bigs got to get involved. They got to get some confidence down the stretch. They've lost those 2 games in overtime. You got to be able to turn that around and execute at the end of a game.
Well, Illinois State is trying to win for a 4th time in the league, trying to go 4-0 for the first time since 2007 and 2008. Illinois State comes in with a 4-game winning streak, while you saw the Sycamores and the completion of their starting lineup announcement. But here are the 3-0 plus starts in the Valley for the Redbirds and the years that they've been able to accomplish that. In 07-08, out to a 6-0 start, 13 wins, 97-98, 16 wins after going 6-0. What's in store for this season in 16-17 for Illinois State? A very talented, a very physical team. We have talent and physical play from Wichita State, the team that was a preseason pick to repeat as a champion. And then we have Missouri State making some terrific additions. And what we've seen out of the first week plus in MVC conference play only sets the table for what you spoke of, Kevin, that a month from now we're going to see these teams either get a whole lot better or we're going to see some changes along the way, perhaps in the other direction.
And you look at Bradley with 2 wins underneath their belt. They went to Evansville and got a huge victory there. The Valley, from top to bottom, is as strong as I've seen. There are no W's in league play.
Bill Fain won the tip. And here's Wills looking for Hawkins. Lee. He'll shoot the 3-ball. And an offensive rebound for Fain. Back out to Lee and a brand new clock. As Illinois State will take another shot at getting on the board first.
Oh, a chance to recycle the basketball for the Redbirds.
Wills a senior, Fain out high. There's number 23, Hawkins. He likes to take it right to the basket. Deontay scores the first field goal of the day here at Holman Center.
Well, an isolation play for Hawkins. He's got Van Soik on him now. Van Soik cannot afford to get in foul problems in this game for the Sycamores.
Wills is guarding Scott. Brenton Scott, second leading scorer in the conference. Number 0, Everett Clemens. Van Soik wears number 30, Scott for 3. And an offensive rebound inside for Rickman. His putback is too strong, and the volley goes to Tony Wills, who averages 2.5 rebounds a game.
Offensive rebounds will be a key for both of these teams. And the first possession of each team, both the Sycamores and the Redbirds got back-to-back possessions, offensive rebounds.
Hawkins will bring it out to the wing and take the three-point shot. 5 for Hawkins right out of the gate.
Well, how sweet is that? He caught it in the block, the same ISO play, feels the double team, just backs it out, squares his shoulders, boom, three-pointer.
Deontay shoots 45% from the field, 45% from behind the arc.
Johnny was 3 for 3 against Missouri State. With this one, that's 4 in a row from distance.
9 on the shot clock, and Clemens saved the ball over by the Illinois State bench. Scott all the way to the baseline and around to Van Soik, and a shot clock violation. The ball belongs to Illinois State.
Well, you can see why Paris Lee is one of the top theft artists in the Valley. He had a pick 6 going for that shot clock violation.
Just before he took off for the other end, the buzzer sounded, and Illinois State will inbound on the turnover by the Sycamores.
Well, Paris Lee will pick the flesh off your bones if you don't not careful with the basketball.
Well, he's the MVC's active career leader in steals and assists. And Van Soik knocks the ball out of bounds, denying the pass to Deontay Hawkins.
Well, John, that was another ISO play for Hawkins on the block. The Redbirds are really trying to attack Van Soik.
Lee from McIntosh. And that funnels in for Mikyle McIntosh. He shoots 34% from behind the arc.
Well, Lee is so good on that ball screen. He drags 2 defenders. It's just a simple pick and pop by Mikyle McIntosh, and he makes the trees pay.
Quite a move by Scott, but there was Tony Wills to poke the ball out of bounds. And with 17 on the shot clock, the Sycamores will inbound.
There's a simple ball screen. You see Mikyle come up, and Lee turns a corner so quickly.
Illinois State is 3 for 4 from the field. Indiana State 0 for 2. And there's Scott losing the handle on the ball. Lee looking for Fain, who missed the dunk because of the foul. The foul on Brenton Scott is first.
And one of the concerns for Greg Lansing, we cannot have loose ball turnovers, cannot allow the Redbirds to play downhill.
To the line, Phil Fain, a sophomore from Elk Grove, California. Came to Illinois State by way of Western Nebraska College.
And I've been to Western Nebraska Community College. That's like the witness relocation program. Scotts Bluff, Nebraska.
Well, I don't care anymore, Coach. If you're good, they'll find you.
You may remember back in
the
mid-90s, Randy Blocker played for Northern Iowa. He was a graduate of Nebraska Western, Scotts Bluff. A long trip recruiting out there.
Phil Fain, a 57% shooter from the line with 0 for 2, and a quick shot for Matt Van Soik.
Well, Van Soik is the X factor for Indiana State. He's got to knock down threes.
8-0 Illinois State, pitching an early shutout here. McIntosh. And that is 2 3-point field goals for Mikyle McIntosh. And a timeout taken by Indiana State with 16:39 left in the first half.
This is again set up by Paris Lee as he gets into the teeth of the beast. It's a simple kick out, but McIntosh squares up those shoulders.
Illinois
he can
State
deliver the 3 ball.
4 for 5 from the field for the Redbirds, making the last 4 field goal attempts. But there was Paris Lee, as you pointed out. He can beat you in so many ways. He can steal the ball and score. He can set up the offense the way he has done so far here in the early going at Terre Haute, Indiana, for an 11-0 lead.
Well, preseason All-Valley pick Paris Lee, and he is playing up to expectations. Has been spectacular, not only in this game, but in the other 3 Valley wins.
And there's Lee leading, directing. And Lee, he's third in the MVC in three-point field goal percentage. 47%, shoots 48% overall. And as we mentioned, the active career assist and steals leader. There's Clemens short with his shot, but he followed it. Nicely done. Looking for Boonscoten. A 3-ball. That's off the glass and down to Deontay Hawkins.
No, Boonscoten is misfired from distance.
Boy, Hawkins was open just a moment. Couldn't get it down. Everett Clemens, he averages 5.3 rebounds a game. Aquarius Page is in now.
Rare for a point guard to get offensive rebounds, but Lansing gives Everett Clemens the freedom to chase down misses.
And here's Page coming off the bench, weaving through traffic, could not close the deal. And it is out of bounds. The ball will belong to Indiana State when we come back from our first media timeout. And it is a quick start for the Redbirds, leading 11-0. The Missouri Valley. Closed captioning for today's telecast is made possible by the Candlewood Suites Terre Haute, the preferred hotel of the Missouri Valley Conference in the Wabash Valley. Call 812-234-3400 or visit candlewoodsuites.com/Terre Haute to book your hotel rooms for your next trip to Terre Haute, Indiana. Well, there isn't much room at all for Brenton Scott to create any offense right now, Kevin.
Well, the Redbirds are switching all dribble handoffs and ball screens. Scott has no room to operate.
Another miss for the Sycamores. That time it was Aquarius Page, who shoots 47% from the field. He's missed a couple of shots since coming off the bench. McIntosh from the baseline. Oh, he's quick even with a double team. Wills, and here's Evans out high. Keyshawn Evans, number 3.
Well, same ISO play they ran for Hawkins. They're now doing it for McIntosh.
McIntosh has 8. 13-0 Illinois State. Illinois State has lost 9 in a row in this building. And 3 of those have been in overtime. Kessinger with the handoff to Scott, and Tony Wills is caught reaching in. That's the first foul on the Redbirds.
Indiana State started off at Southern Illinois 11-0. They found themselves down 11-0 in this game and now down 13-0. But watch the Redbirds. They're going to switch any ball screen or handoff that Scott's involved in.
And on the drive, Niels Boonscoten is short. Paris Lee with the head up, surveying the defense. Couldn't convert. The rebound belongs to Bronson Kessinger.
That's a tough shot by Lee, going to his right, trying to kiss it off the glass with his left hand.
And the foul goes against Illinois State. It's on Keyshawn Evans. 2 team fouls, 1 on Evans, 1 on Wills for the Redbirds. Boonscoten, he was wide open. Boonscoten averages 5-1 a game, and that's a 3-ball.
Now, much needed drink of water by the trees after a long dry spell.
14-29 and counting here in the first half, and they're finally on the board. Clayton is tied up and a foul called.
The OB plays are the special teams of college basketball. Everett Clemens finds Boonscoten just open in the weak side corner.
And that ended a 5-minute, 19-second drought for Indiana State, finally on the board. 30 on the shot clock. Fain takes the inbounds pass. Inside Boonscoten, Phil Fain. He missed 2 from the free throw line, but scores a field goal there.
Well, Fain is left-handed, so he gets it on that left side, little angle on the window.
Boone Scoden with the ball fake. Kessinger with the shot. That wouldn't go down over Hawkins.
Well, it's been one and done since that first possession for Indiana State.
Lee inside Scott. Oh, what a drive to the baseline. Hawkins couldn't convert. Fain is there for his second field goal. He has scored the last 2 times down the floor for Illinois State.
Well, John, we talked about Phil Fain being the X factor for the Redbirds. Gives him a rim protector, excellent field goal percentage shooter.
Kessinger got the crawl. Bronson Kessinger. Averaging 9 minutes of playing time off the bench. Got his first career start today and scores to make it 17-5 Illinois State. Hawkins working against Boone Scoden. DJ Clayton from Oakland, California. And Clemens is wide open off the Redbirds' miss. Everett Clemens with the pivot. Boone Scoden driving on Hawkins. 20 on the shot clock. Kessinger sets the screen. Page. And a line drive rebound to Keyshawn Evans.
Well, Page has 2 good looks for Indiana State, not able to convert.
Here's Lee, out of control, but he finds Clayton open.
A good defense by Britton Scott, kept his hands up. Bodied up Lee just enough.
Evans to the corner. He'll take the shot. Keyshawn Evans.
Keyshawn Evans gives the Redbirds a great lift off the bench. Knocking a 3 ball. Huge game in their win over New Mexico.
From the 3-point arc, Illinois State's 4 for 6. Indiana State 1 out of 5. And contact made. Evans was called for his second foul.
You can see they're playing way off of Clemens at the defensive end. His man is plugging up the lane. Clemens not known as a 3-point shooter. Greg Lansing wants to see Everett Clemens get more aggressive offensively.
Number 2, Jordan Barnes in, along with number 13, Donovan Franklin. And Matt Van Soik, number 30, comes back into the lineup for Indiana State. The inbound pass will be triggered by Everett Clemens, number 0.
And Kessinger with the surprise start has not come out of the game yet.
There's a long lob out to Franklin near midcourt. Number 2 is Jordan Barnes, the freshman from CBC High School in St. Louis.
And Barnes is the guy that the Sycamores really like.
Van Soik guarded closely by McIntosh.
Van Soik's trying to get any room to get that 3 ball off.
Franklin has no shot at all. Van Soik with 6 on the shot clock, down to Kessinger, who can't score. Kept the ball alive only to have Paris Lee take the ball the other way for Illinois State. Here's McIntosh. He was open just that much, Kevin, and knocked it down.
We talked about how well this Illinois State team is playing. I had their game at Tulsa when they gave up a 14-point lead. They had the come to Jesus meeting after that. They played extremely well ever since.
Van Soik with the fadeaway hit the deck, missed the shot. 1 and done again for Indiana State. McIntosh against Van Soik, pushes it short. Hawkins in heavy traffic. The loose ball, it's the Redbirds' ball. A 3-point attempt from the corner. That wouldn't go down for Clayton, and boy, Kessinger hit the floor hard. And we have a foul on McIntosh. That's his first. But here's what McIntosh did on the other end a moment ago, and he has knocked down 11 points in the first half with Illinois State up big. Leading here in the first half at Indiana State, 23-5. Our Missouri Valley Conference standings are a presentation of Purina Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926. Wichita State and Illinois State are on top, and they'll face each other a week from today in Normal, Illinois. Missouri State, SIU, the Braves at 2-1, then Loyola, Evansville, Drake with Indiana State and Northern Iowa looking for a win in the Valley.
Southern at Missouri State later this afternoon. That's going to be a great battle in Springfield, Missouri.
Number 13 is Donovan Franklin. There's the freshman, Jordan Barnes, number 2. Franklin, 13 on the shot clock. Boy, Illinois State really defends, Kevin.
Well, I was going to say, John, the difference between this team and last year's Illinois State team is their attention to detail at the defensive end.
And that's one way to break things up. The freshman Barnes hitting 31% behind the arc. Hits a 3-ball there for Greg Lansing.
And Barnes just clicks his heels and steps into that 3-ball.
And there's an answer for Mikyle McIntosh, his 4th 3-point field goal.
4 of 4 from distance for McIntosh.
He averages 13-6 a game. That just went up. He has 14 in the first half today. Scott guarded, double teams, Fain and Lee. Number 34. And getting the ball back, Brandon Murphy, and he's fouled.
Well, Murphy had Wills on the post. Wills with great quick hands knocked it loose. Tony Wills, coach will call him. Coach Miller says he's the best defender on this team.
Franklin hanging. There's Barnes with a head and shoulder fake, counted. That's a 2-ball.
Oh, nice look off by Barnes to freeze the defense.
5 for Barnes off the bench.
I like this game, John.
Racing to the basket. Clayton can't close the deal. Fain hustles. Lee from outside. Nice box out there by Brandon Murphy.
You've got to keep Fain off the glass. You're the Sycamores.
Scott draws a double team again. Lee and Fain. Barnes.
The Redbirds are not going to allow number 4 to get any open looks.
And as Murphy took the pass, he was fouled by Phil Fain. That's his first and the 6th on Illinois State. 2 team fouls for Indiana State in the first half. Off the bench comes Dauda Njai. 7-footer from Senegal.
He's been a big addition, Njai, to the Redbirds lineup. Just that 5 to 6 minutes a half, a rim protector to come in there. First game was against Hawaii, had 5 blocks.
Here's the shot for 3 that goes down by Barnes.
Barnes trying to will his team back into this game as Brenton Scott is having trouble getting any open looks.
And it's 26-13, Illinois State with the lead in the ball. Wills and Lee out high. 15 on the shot clock. Njai sets the pick. That leaves Hawkins open.
Boy, that was excellent offense by the Redbirds. The weak side defender had to step in and help as Njai ran to the rim. Hawkins steps the open spot.
Number 2, Jordan Barnes for Indiana State has scored their last 8 points. There's Barnes.
Murphy's been called for the ball on the block. Brandon Murphy.
Barnes giving up the dribble, and Njai deflects the ball, and in the dive, a timeout called. A terrific hustle play by number 13, Donovan Franklin, and a timeout called by Indiana State. Trailing 29-13 in our Missouri Valley Game of the Week. We're in the first half in Terre Haute. Off the bench, 8 by Jordan Barnes. Metro Transit is offering an all-inclusive 5-day fan pass for just $23.50. The fan pass is valid for unlimited riding March 1st through the 5th on Metrolink, Metrobus, and the St. Louis Downtown Trolley during Arch Madness 2017. Purchase your fan pass at metrostore.org.
Well, John, Illinois State is playing a near-perfect game. 7 assists on 11 field goals and no turnovers.
And that's another shot clock violation as Scott's shot hit the backboard. The third turnover now for Indiana State, 2 on shot clock violations.
And we mentioned how good the Redbird defense has been here down the stretch, holding teams the last 6 games below 33%. The Sycamores at 28% in this game.
Nice catch by McIntosh, and Lee is open.
McIntosh has
right back to him, Kevin.
He's got the mismatch on Clemens.
And Clemens bumped him on the hip. The first foul on Everett.
Well, Murphy trying to help with the double team, but McIntosh is so quick on the catch. He'll turn and face and get the rim before the double team arrives.
Lee guarded by the freshman. Njai set the pick, takes the pass. Nice ball fake. And Njai is fouled with Brandon Murphy coming up trying to contest the shot.
Another thing this Illinois State team does better this season than last, they share the wealth. That basketball moves. There are no ball stoppers on this Redbird team. Makes them very difficult to guard.
And here's Dada Njai at the free throw line. He's 3 out of 4 from the line this season. He played in 12 games last year, and a stress fracture in his left foot limited his playing time. One more in play at 7:20 to go in the first half. Illinois State with a 30-13 lead on the road in a building where the Redbirds have dropped their last 9 games to the Sycamores. Njai, 10 minutes against Missouri State on Wednesday. He scored 1 point, 1 for 2 from the line there.
Well, Njai.
Evans. Clayton keeps the ball alive for Illinois State. DJ Clayton.
Lather, rinse, repeat on those offensive rebounds.
Evans, guarded by Barnes. 15 on the shot clock. Njai in a double team. And there to clean things up, DJ Clayton scores his first field goal.
Well, Njai, that was a shot, although it might look like a pass.
Well, he had that result.
And the defensive end, David Njai, is the rim protector. He's got 10 blocks in just 85 minutes of play.
Clemens driving. Njai rebounds. Scott going for the steal, but Lee does a great job protecting the ball. And Paris brings it across the line.
No, Dan Miller getting great minutes out of Njai.
Njai denied the rebound position, and here's Scott to the front court. Scott has yet to score, and he's fouled while getting into the lane. Harris Lee with the first foul. That's the 7th team foul for Illinois State, setting up 1-1 for the Sycamores.
Well, Britton Scott does well. On a long rebound, he can start to break himself. His ability and upper body strength to draw contact, get himself to the free throw line.
Scott is playing in his 79th game for the Sycamores, starting for the 64th time, and missed the front end of a 1-1. And in the scramble, getting the ball back, it's Brandon Murphy. That's a held ball. The ball belongs to Indiana State.
A little zone look by the Redbirds on this OB under.
And Clemens will inbound the ball for Indiana State. Scott with the shot.
Nice play by Greg Lansing as Scott comes across the lane. Finds the hole in the zone.
The first field goal today for Brenton Scott, and he averages 19.1 a game. Lee. Scott with the rebound. So he took the ball away from Phil Fain. Scott pounded by Evans. Boone-Scoten drives, dumps it low for Murphy. And Murphy drops it in.
That's Murphy his first soft field goal. If you're Indiana State, you're trying to get this thing to single digits before halftime.
The other way, Barnes for Indiana State. And that's all glass. Murphy keeps the ball in bounds, and it is Indiana State's basketball. Nice heads-up play for Brandon Murphy.
Well, Brandon Murphy has made an impact on this game ever since he's entered on the offensive glass. Soft hands by the big man. That might be an ill-advised quick shot, but Murphy trying to clean it up.
Here's Everett Clemens to inbound with 21 on the shot clock. Boone-Scoten. Page at the three-point line and Murphy low. Here's Boone-Scoten. That rims off to the Redbirds. And a foul on Murphy trying to gain some rebounding position. his second foul.
Bluestone
15
got
foul.
that three out of the corner. They need him to step in with confidence and knock down those open triples.
Kessinger back in. He wears number 5 for Indiana State. And Murphy goes over to take a seat.
A little zone look here by Indiana State. Tandem 2-3 zones, got a 1-3-1 look.
Tony Wills scores his first field goal. That's a 3-ball. 35-17 Illinois State.
Well, Greg Lansing told us he hates to play zone because of what we just saw, John. Step in and knock down that 3-ball. Look for the Sycamores to play man next possession.
Redbirds are 8 for 14 shooting threes. Kessinger is short with his drive. Fein on the outlet for Wills.
Well, I like Kessinger's aggressiveness, but he has not been able to finish in traffic.
I'll tell you what, McIntosh puts his eyes on the rim and doesn't give in. He has 16 and will go to the line shooting for his 17th.
Well, this is finishing in traffic. Takes it into the teeth of the beast. Delivers the bruise and gets the basket.
And here's McIntosh, a 77% shooter on the line for the first time today.
Mikyle McIntosh, 235 pounds.
He has 17.
He's coming at you. Get off the tracks because the train is coming down the middle.
Full court pressure applied by the Redbirds. Aquarius Page, double teamed in the backcourt. Finds Clemens. Scott. He'll shoot and score off the glass. 4 for Scott in the first half.
A pretty move by Britton Scott.
Evans open.
Well, just 2 minutes ago, we talked about Indiana State trying to get this down to single digits. All of a sudden, it ballooned back to 19.
Three-point attempt by Wills won't go. McIntosh gets the bounce.
Well, McIntosh has been everywhere today. He scored in the 3-ball. He scored in the drive. He's got to the free throw line. And a great offensive putback.
19 for McIntosh. He has scored 20 or better 3 times this season. That's a 3.
And only Clemens' 4th three-pointer of the season.
Coming down to 3 minutes to go in the first half. Page ahead to Clemens, who scores it. He had just enough on that shot to get the crawl.
Well, when you struggle in your half-court offense, you need to get some points off turnovers. Indiana State.
McIntosh facing up, and there's Brenton Scott for Indiana State. Inside, Kessinger. Page, back into Kessinger, bumping. And he couldn't score it. Couldn't get the tip, trying to stay with it, out of bounds. The ball goes to Illinois State. We're going to break, and there's Everett Clemens with his first field goal of the day, a 3-ball. And Illinois State leads 40-24 against the Sycamores. From home. These hotels consistently support the conference and its 10-member institutions. Please call or visit the websites of these properties when making plans to follow your favorite team away from home in the Missouri Valley Conference.
John, Illinois State with 8 offensive rebounds, and Greg Lansing told us their target was to keep them under 12 for the game. 8 second chance points for the Redbirds off those offensive rebounds.
Here's Illinois State with a 40-24 lead. Lee. Hawkins with the nice feed low for McIntosh. He's fouled.
Well, excellent ball movement by the Redbirds. Playing the second and third side. Bring it right back to the big man, McIntosh, on the block.
And McIntosh just picked up a free throw opportunity on the foul by Brenton Scott. Stay tuned for our halftime report, a presentation of State Farm. The assist you need when things go wrong, but also here to help life go right. Team up with an agent at 800 State Farm. 20 for McIntosh, so he has 4 games of 20 or more points this season. 20 at TCU, 20 against San Francisco, 21 against Missouri State, and 21 here in the first half against Indiana State.
A little full-court pressure by the Birds. Lee almost stole one.
But there's Barnes. Jordan Barnes, 8 points off the bench today for Indiana State.
And we've seen very little zone out of Illinois State. But again, quick hands by Paris Lee causes the turnover.
Giving the ball back to the Redbirds with a minute 52 left in the first half. Number 41 is Amandre Rickman, a sophomore from Collinsville, Illinois.
Well, this has been an impressive first half performance by Illinois State at both ends, John. Offensively, they've shared the basketball. Defensively, they've locked down Britton Scott.
McIntosh with 21 points, and here's Hawkins. He has scored 8. McIntosh dumping it low, and Fain can't score. Rickman with a nice job inside. Here's Barnes. Clemens with Rickman, flying a pick, and number 12 is Boonscote. Rickman, too strong off the back iron. McIntosh gets 6.7 rebounds a game, claims one there for the Redbirds. Illinois State with a 42-24 lead, coming down to 1 minute left in the first half. Lee against the freshman. Now Boonscote guards Lee, who takes it all the way, and that's blocked out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock. The Redbirds will play it in. Register to win a St. Louis Arch Madness VIP package, including all session tickets for the State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, hotel accommodations, and tickets to St. Louis area attractions. Log on to ExploreSt.Louis.com and get all the information. And with a short timeout here, it's 42-24 Illinois State. 7 on the shot clock for the Illinois State Redbirds. Field goal percentage in the first half, only 34% for Indiana State. Indiana State shoots 42% for the season. Illinois State at 45%, with the Redbirds coming in averaging 44% from the field. The Grand Hall at Union Station in downtown St. Louis comes to life with a spectacular indoor light show every night. When making plans to attend Arch Madness, visit hall-stl.com for all the information. That's quite a show. Inbounds pass for McIntosh. In heavy traffic, Fain saves it at the inline and scores with 2 on the shot clock. Phil Fain has 6 in the first half. 44-24 Redbirds. Boonscoten. Coming down to 30 seconds left in the first half. Boonscoten shoots off the glass and can't score. Wills. 20 seconds left in the first half. Wills and Lee outside. Fain, Hawkins, and McIntosh on the front line for Illinois State. 10 seconds to go until halftime. 5 seconds. Lee with the shot and the 3 ball. His only field goal of the first half is a 3-point field goal to end the scoring. And Illinois State with quite a half, a 47-24 lead over Indiana State here at the Holman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. We invite you to stay tuned for our State Farm halftime report. And it's time to check in with head coach Greg Lansing of Indiana State for today's Casey's General Store plans for the second half. Kevin?
Greg, anything you liked in that first half from your team?
No. I didn't like our energy or our enthusiasm. Thought we played scared. The Redbirds are really good, really talented. They smelled blood in the water and just pummeled us.
Well, anything you can do in the second half to change?
Compete. Try to compete. I mean, I didn't think we tried to compete it at all. I thought they beat us in every phase of the game. I tried to tell them before, all you can do is all you can do, and empty your tank. I think we still got plenty in our tank.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, John.
Our chat with the coaches is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Coming up on the State Farm halftime report, we'll have a recap of the first half, check out some highlights, some statistics, and have the MVC player profile. All that and more coming up as Illinois State put on a show in the first half in Terre Haute, leading 47-24 at the half. Boonscote. Healthy, simpler, and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com. By Purina Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926. By State Farm, team up with an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Our halftime score, 47-24. Illinois State leads Indiana State. And our halftime report is a presentation of State Farm, helping you rebound when things go wrong, but also here to help life go right. Team up with an agent at 800-STATE-FARM. And let's check in now with the head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds, Dan Muller. It's time for today's Casey's General Store plans for the second half. Kevin?
Coach, how would you describe that first half performance by your team, both at the offensive, defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't play much better. Obviously, we chopped the ball with our main guys. Our defense continues to be locked in. We come off the bench and there's no letdown. It was a pretty good half for us.
Anything you're looking for differently in the second half?
Not differently. We just want to stay in our defensive intensity. I don't care about the offense. We're making really unselfish passes. Got to stay locked in defensively as we keep building it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, John.
Our chat with the coaches is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Very little going wrong for Illinois State this afternoon here in Terre Haute, while Greg Lansing wants more effort out of his Sycamores. As Aetna proudly presents the second half of our Missouri Valley Conference game of the week. Aetna invests in game-changing programs that make being healthy simpler and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com. Illinois State with a big lead and the ball. Illinois State won on the road by 22 at Loyola. And we have a foul as Lee found room in the lane and got to the baseline. The foul was called against Matt Van Soik, his first foul.
And Lee's ability to turn the corner and get down Main Street, difficult to stop.
Well, he didn't have a stoplight. He got in there.
Right in your living room.
Here's McIntosh spinning and missed that one. Brandon Murphy rebounds, the junior from Montgomery, Alabama, for the Sycamores.
Well, a rare misfire by McIntosh. I had great patience in that, but not able to finish with the weak hand.
Barnes, short.
Barnes was the one bright spot for the Sycamores in the first half.
There's Hawkins. And Scott is open on the baseline for the defensive rebound. Brendan Scott scored 4 points in the first half.
Illinois State is locked on to number 4 in white. He's getting no space.
Boy, Murphy had no room at all as Deontay Hawkins touched the ball going out of bounds. 17 on the shot clock for Indiana State.
You still want Murphy needs to attack the rim. He's not getting double coverage in there. Boy, he was open on the inbounds play too, John. They missed him.
All the way out to Scott. There's Scott with a little room, but very little. Barnes for three. He has 3 3-point field goals in his 11 points off the bench.
And one of the areas Brenton Scott has developed his game, he draws so much attention defensively. He's become an excellent passer. Drove it to the nail, kicked it out. Barnes delivers.
McIntosh has 21. He's handling the ball out high, guarded by Everett Clemens.
Well, Barnes just got smacked by a back screen, a blind screen by Deontay Hawkins.
And Barnes deflects the ball for Scott. In the scramble for it, it stays in bounds. Nicely done at the end line by Murphy.
And that's what Greg Lansing wants to see out of his team, some effort.
And here's Scott finding an opening, and he was tied up. And the arrow favors Indiana State.
And Indiana State in the first half a little bit stagnant, but look at this. They're going to kick it. Scott drives it to the nail. A kick out to an open Barnes who just kind of clicks his heels, steps in rhythm, and delivers it.
And Dan Muller doesn't like what he sees out of the gate here in the second half for Illinois State, so he takes a timeout. We will too. We'll be right back to Terre Haute. And Illinois State had a 47-24 lead at the half. Today's Missouri Valley Conference scores schedules, a presentation of Grinnell Mutual Insurance, where we provide a policy of working together. Coming up, Illinois State at Missouri State, with Loyola playing at Bradley. The Ramblers have won 5 of the last 6 games against the Bradley Braves.
In Southern Illinois, Sean O'Brien has had a double-double in all 3 Valley games, going up against Alize Johnson, who's had 8 double-doubles this season. My clubhouse leader for fresh or newcomer of the year.
And McIntosh bumped him. The second foul on Mikyle McIntosh. Mikyle McIntosh with 21 points today. Gives a new clock to the Sycamores, and the lob pass into a dunk for Brandon Murphy. Murphy has 4 points, and the assist for Van Soik.
John, the second time the Sycamores have run that play, Murphy opened the first time also, but they didn't find him. And Soik, nice find. I like what Murphy's giving some energy right now, both ends.
And Scott comes back after the Murphy rebound, and contact made. Doesn't matter. Scott scores anyway. That's his first field goal in the second half, giving him 6 today.
Well, excellent defensive recovery by Tony Wills, but Brenton Scott able to make a play off the window.
There's McIntosh. Nice bounce pass low for Hawkins. 10 for Hawkins. He'll be on the line.
Well, we've seen Hawkins shoot the 3-ball in, but he is really effective on that right block, scoring over his left shoulder.
The MVC Fan Hangout is a perfect gathering place before and after games during Arch Madness. Located at Ballpark Village in downtown St. Louis, just across the street from Busch Stadium. For additional information, visit archmadness.com/fans. A 3-point play there with a basket and 1 free throw for Deontay Hawkins.
We saw that quick timeout by Dan Muller. That was about intensity here in the second half. Don't look at the scoreboard. We need your defensive intensity.
Well, I want to look by Everett Clemens, give him 7. And the 3 points by Hawkins, the first points in the second half for Illinois State. Wills in heavy traffic travels. Had that jump step plus another one.
Well, we're seeing some life out of the Sycamores here in the second half. Jordan Barnes has been good, and Scott now trying to be a distributor rather than a scorer.
Scott moving in on McIntosh. Van Soik. And he's stripped of the ball by Tony Wills.
Well, don't you just love Tony Wills' defensive game?
Well, great hands. And here's Lee open. That rims out, and we have a foul in the lane.
Phil Fain crashed the offensive glass. Love his energy level.
First foul on Jordan Barnes. The third foul on the Sycamores. 1 team foul in the second half for Illinois State.
Well, Barnes, the little guy, plays with a big heart. Get physical on the block out on the bigger Phil Fain.
Well, McIntosh had a step, and he was fouled while driving the lane. And Clemens thought he had the reach in for the loose ball, not a foul, and that's the second on Everett. 4th team foul on the Trees.
Well, Clemens has quick hands, but got it caught in a cookie jar that time.
2 shots here for Mikyle McIntosh. McIntosh, a 77% free throw shooter. Preseason All Missouri Valley Conference first team pick.
Well, he's been playing up to today, John. Been sensational here. From the 3-point line, scoring on the post.
Now he's 3 out of 5 from the free throw line. Clemens starting, stopping, and McIntosh fouled him. Couldn't keep up. That's 3 on Mikyle McIntosh.
Clemens with a little change of gears there. Hesitation, and go with it. Let's see if they run that same OB play again that they had success last time with Murphy scoring.
And you saw DJ Clayton, number 2, coming in. And here's Barnes short, but there's Murphy trying to clean it up. He dunks it. Brandon Murphy has 6.
Well, he's big enough to block out the sun, but does he get off the floor quick? Brandon Murphy. Soft hands. Punched it through.
50-35, Illinois State with the lead on the ball in the second half.
Well, a lot of time left for the Sycamores, but they've got to make stops at this end of the court.
Barnes was able to cut off Lee. Hawkins with the handoff to Lee.
It's amazing how when you make shots, your defensive effort steps up.
And there's the tap by Fain out to Lee. Hawkins Evans misses the three attempt. Barnes off the line drive rebound, brings it the other way.
The Sycamores dodged one there.
Oh, the pass over Murphy. And we have a hold called against Illinois State. And a timeout with 15-16 left in the second half. The Sycamores are trying to make a run at the Redbirds. 50-35 by the Sycamores. And today's Eagle Bank NBC Scholar Athlete of the game is Indiana State runner Akis Medrano, a sophomore from Boswell, Indiana. Medrano finished 7th overall on a time of 24 minutes, 58.9 seconds at the 2016 NBC Cross Country Championship at Cedar Falls, Iowa. Medrano, a grade point average of 3.27 in criminology, led the Sycamore men to a third-place finish. The official bank of the Missouri Valley Conference, Eagle Bank, where a student's financial future begins.
Indiana State on 11-3 run here in the second half. They close this to 15.
Will's got a hand on the ball, and that went off Scott's foot. Out of bounds to Illinois State.
How many times have we seen Tony Wills with quick hands make a defensive play? That was huge.
Wills has played in all 16 games, starting 13 after undergoing surgery in late September due to a sports hernia.
And this is a big game for Tony Wills, as he is the only player for Illinois State, a native of the state of Indiana.
And he has a big group here watching him play today. Lee with a three. He has a three ball in each half. Illinois State is 2 for 8 from the field here in the second half, leading 53-35.
Well, Lee has struggled to shoot it. 2 of 10, but he's affected this game in so many other ways. Defensively, dribble penetration, and when he gets that three ball going, watch out.
15 on the shot clock, and Wills is right there with Scott. Clemens, Scott's open from the arc, and cans it.
Clemens has an uncanny ability to know where Brenton Scott is at all times.
Clayton. He drops it off to Paris Lee. Coming down to 14 minutes left in the second half here in Terre Haute.
When we talk about that single digit, if the Sycamores can get it down to single digits, that under 10-minute mark, they can feel pretty good about themselves.
Jordan Barnes with a push, his second foul. And that's the 5th foul on the Sycamores. Inbound from the baseline, off the bench. Deontay Hawkins, along with number 3, Keyshawn Evans. As Fain goes over to the bench, and Lee will get a break for a while for Dan Muller's Illinois State Redbirds.
Now, Keyshawn Evans is a player that Dan Muller's begun to trust more and more this season. Injury-riddled last year, but it gives him a chance to get Paris Lee some rest.
Boonscoden and Page are back in for Indiana State. DJ Clayton, junior from Oakland, California, who played at Palm Beach State College before coming to Normal. Long pass for Evans.
Clemens almost got that one.
Deontay Hawkins has scored 11 today. And there's Brenton Scott. He averages 5.8 rebounds a game.
Oh, good challenge making Hawkins bounce it.
Scott with a good look and a quick release. Give him 12.
Well, miscommunication by Illinois State in defensive transition. They forgot where Brenton Scott was. Just walked up and splashed it through.
Evans, he's open, but too high off the glass. Hawkins keeps the ball alive, only to be secured by Brandon Murphy of the Sycamores.
Oh, I love the soft hands of Brandon Murphy.
He's had a very good start to the second half. Clemens in on Evans, over Evans. 9 for Everett Clemens, and it's a 10-point game just like that. Indiana State is on an 8-0 run. So we have 12:56 to go in the second half. Brenton Scott is becoming a force here in the second half for the Trees.
Now Scott with 12 points. Just a little step-in three off the penetration. And there's a miscommunication. Hawkins does not get out there in time to challenge Scott off the drag screen. And Clemens with the floater in the paint.
Down by 23 at halftime. The Sycamores are down by 10 right now. This half, Indiana State has outscored the Redbirds 19-6.
And they're making shots, John, the Sycamores. So now their defensive intensity has stepped up, and they're rebounding.
I think the fact that they had a lid on the basket to start the game down 13-0 just took the air out of their entire game, don't you?
Well, that plus they're coming off the 2 overtime losses at Missouri State, at Southern Illinois. You've got to be able to accept a loss without being defeated.
Hawkins was able to get the step to the baseline against Boone-Scoten, who fouled him. The first foul on Boone-Scoten and the 6th on Indiana State in the second half.
If you want to stop the home team from making runs, get yourself to the free throw line. Good play by Dan Muller. Come out of that timeout. Gets Hawkins at the line, and Hawkins, an excellent free throw shooter.
Right on cue. He has 12 today, 2 for 2 from the line. He averages 14.8 points a game. We talked about him when we came on the air today, Kevin. What a solid season he is putting together, and he's going to get some all-MVC consideration big time.
Oh, and rightly deserved.
Fain wins the volley.
Boy, it just kills you when you try to make a comeback, as those back-to-back possessions.
In the lane, contact and a foul. Three fouls on Everett Clemens. Into the free throw line, Phil Fain. Fain shooting for his 7th point.
Well, you're trying to climb back from a deficit. Those back-to-back possessions just take the air out of your sails.
One more here for Fain in play at 12:26 to go in the second half.
Fain gets 1 of the 2. And if he doesn't score, that's as good as a turnover from the free throw line. Fain has to improve as a free throw shooter.
He's 1 out of 4 today. Boone-Scoten and Clemens. Boone-Scoten was covered. Page feeds left of the lane, and a foul is called against the Redbirds. And that's on Hawkins.
Well,
His
Brandon
first foul.
Murphy is becoming a problem for the Redbirds inside.
Scott against Lee. Boone-Scoten around to Clemens. Clemens in traffic. Page was open for a moment. And he switched hands but couldn't score. Out of bounds to Illinois State. And with that, we have a timeout inside 12 minutes left in the second half. Indiana State trying to make a run at Illinois State in an interesting second half in Terre Haute. Last 2:57, allowing Indiana State a chance to come back into the game. Metro Transit is offering an all-inclusive 5-day fan pass for just $23.50. The fan pass is valid for unlimited riding March 1st through the 5th on Metrolink, Metrobus, and the St. Louis Downtown Trolley during Arch Madness 2017. Purchase your fan pass at metrostore.org. Illinois State's ball after the timeout. Scott has 12 points, 8 in the second half for Indiana State. Clemens with the steal, in on Clayton, scores it. Clemens has 11, and it's back to a 10-point game.
Well, this second half, Everett Clemens has been much more aggressive at the defensive end and at the offensive end. Well, you can't leave one hanging. Everett Clemens is going to pick it and go.
Fain out high. Lee hounded by L'Aquarius Page.
And Clemens is stuck on McIntosh inside.
Big shot for Lee. 9 for Lee, all on three-pointers.
And 2 in the second half, and he has had the answer for every Sycamore run.
Clemens in on Clayton. Boone-Scoten can't save the ball in the corner. Looked like Clemens had an opening where he could have gone to the basket and expected to be cut off, so that's why he tried to fan the ball out to the corner.
Well, Greg Lansing said he wants Everett Clemens to become more aggressive scorer. He drives it to pass. He needs to drive it to look at the rim.
Paris Lee, a big 3 ball a moment ago. Has 9 as he crosses the midcourt line. Under 11 left in the second half.
Hey, Clem is the heart and soul of this team, the junkyard dog.
He's getting a break right now with the freshman Jordan Barnes in.
Barnes has been sensational. Big upside for that freshman.
Hawkins has it rattle out to Brenton Scott.
Scott, one of the best rebounding guards in the Valley.
Scott. Boonscoten. Count it, a 3-ball.
And that's all off the penetration. Brenton Scott drew 3 red jerseys, kept his balance, kicked it out to the trailing Boonscoten.
Now the Sycamores are trying to get a stop and then go back on the other end and get the game inside 10.
A lot of time left, John.
10 minutes to go. Here's McIntosh and a foul call. Lots of contact. And a whistle will stop play at 9:58. The foul is on Murphy, his third.
And Dan Miller having a discussion over there with Kip Kissinger. A great play by Scott. They need Boonscoten to hit threes.
And they need Matt Van Soyk to hit some threes. He'll be coming in a moment.
Yeah, both those guys are your typical stretch fours. But what Illinois State has done here in the second half, they've gotten Mikyle McIntosh on the switch with a guard on him. And he's going right to the post. Getting fouled and now at the free throw line for the second.
He missed 2 the last trip, made 2 here, and has 23 today.
23 points and
coming off 21 points against Missouri State in the overtime win on Wednesday.
there's 23 points in 23 minutes of play for the big man from Canada.
Scott bumped by Wills. The second foul on Tony. And that's the 8th foul. Make that the 5th foul against Illinois State. Against 8 for Indiana State. Boonscoten for Van Soyk.
And for Indiana State, it's important to get into this one-on-one so you can score some points with the clock stopped.
A lot of contact, no foul. McIntosh. Lee for 3. And there's Fain with the offensive rebound, can't score it. Fain carries the ball out of bounds.
What the second effort by Fain. He went after his own miss, not able to convert. They got it to admire his effort.
Illinois State with a 60-48 lead. Jordan Barnes has scored 11 points, 8 of those in the first half.
Well, Indiana State just looks much more relaxed.
And Lee caused the commotion and scores on the other end.
As I say that, they get an untimely turnover. You can see a sense of urgency on Illinois State's face here at the defense end. They've really stepped it up here in the last few minutes.
Scott in on Wills, and with contact, no foul. Boonscoten for 3. There's Paris Lee for Illinois State. McIntosh is thinking 2 points here, but he'll back it out.
A good recognition by now McIntosh. He gets into a huge crowd.
The pass low for Hawkins. 14 for Deontay Hawkins.
Oh, that was deadly. That was a wicked move inside. Hawkins likes to go over. The left shoulder came back over his right.
Now contact draws a foul for Scott. And the foul was on Wills, his third foul. 6 fouls for Illinois State, 8 for Indiana State in the second half.
Well, you saw the change in body language and demeanor by the Redbirds once Indiana State got that thing down to 10. They stepped up again at the defensive end. Wills has been sensational.
Quick inbounds pass. The feed, the contact, and a foul. Rickman will go to the line.
Now that's an area that Greg Lansing said Brenton Scott has really improved on. As a passer, we know he's a prolific scorer, but he's drawing so much attention by defenders. He's able to find his teammates.
Dauda Njai put Rickman on the line. Rickman has not scored today. 6 for 10 from the free throw line this season. Nice form, nice arc. And this one's in play with 8:15 to go in the second half.
Now, there's a good look at Rickman. He just oozes with talent. He's put on about 40 pounds since his freshman year.
Andre Rickman out of Collinsville, Illinois. He's a sophomore. Missed that one. And there's Wills.
Lansing said when he recruited the young man, Andre Rickman, he could barely get up and down the floor in high school. He's always tugging on his pants, shorts, leaning on his knees. Now a little more zone on Sycamores.
Wills. That's for three for Tony Wills.
The last time that Indiana State showed zone the first half, Wills knocked one in the gap.
He did it again.
He found the soft spot.
Page goes low for Rickman, working on Njai. 12 on the shot clock, and a foul on Njai. For Njai, that's his second foul. Wills with his second three ball, helping Illinois State to a 67-49 lead at Indiana State in the Valley.
These two.
Now at ExplorerSt.Louis.com. And one of the plans for Illinois State to hold off Indiana State on the road here today at Terre Haute in the Valley.
And Dan Miller said he wanted to limit the three-point attempts by Brenton Scott and Matt Van Soik. Van Soik's only had 2 looks. Van Soik has not scored from the field. And Brenton Scott, he snuck in 2 triples on miscommunication by the Redbirds.
Here's Rickman, 1 and 1. Off the glass to Illinois State. Andre's 1 for 3 from the line.
You don't want to be inexperienced from the free throw line. Rickman has to improve because he's going to get fouled in the post. Rickman with a good double team.
Lee just throws it to the sideline, and Wills can't save it.
Well, Wills was zigging. Paris Lee thought he was going to zag.
5 turnovers now for Illinois State. Rickman and Page go to the bench. Scott comes back in. The 2017 St. Louis Cardinals season is around the corner. 10 and 5 game packs and all-inclusive tickets are on sale right now. Get yours at Cardinals.com.
Now, Sycamores, they have one more run in them. Under 7.
Boy, good catch there by Clemens. Barnes, short. McIntosh from the rebound. He'll bring it up the floor.
Well, McIntosh's ability to take the rebound and start to break himself.
McIntosh with the miss. He has only 2 points here in the second half, and those came from the free throw line.
With 23 on the game, most of his damage in the first half where he was unstoppable. So Redbirds built that big lead.
Tony Wills just committed his 4th foul, so the Sycamores will walk the other way. And Matt Van Soik, who has not scored today, goes to the line, a 58% shooter this season, averaging 10 points a game.
And Wills has been the main defender on Brenton Scott.
Matt Van Soik, senior, came here from the Citadel. Short. The scramble. Murphy is tied up. Murphy and Fain. The possession arrow will give the ball to Illinois State.
Well, Van Soik has scored over 1,000 points between his time here at the Citadel and Indiana State. But a big goose egg today. They need some points down the stretch on the number 30, Matt Van Soik.
Van Soik with a miss. Rickman a miss on the 1 and 1 a moment ago. Those really hurt, Kevin. Paris Lee across the line now for Illinois State. Lee all the way to the baseline. There's McIntosh. A 3-point field goal for Mikyle McIntosh, giving him 26.
Well, that play was made by Lee and Phil Fain diving to the rim, sucking in the weak side defense. Is McIntosh just enough room to square it up?
Scott too strong. McIntosh flying for the rebound after scoring a career-high 26 points. So right there is Barnes. Clemens blocked by McIntosh, and a blocking foul is called. Paris Lee got in the way. It's his second foul.
Well, this starts with a horns play, a hammer out. Boy, how about the form? He rings the bell from the corner pocket. Number 11, Mikyle McIntosh. Pickering, Ontario. You're seeing more and more players in U.S. colleges from Canada. Basketball's getting pretty good up north.
One more here for Clemens with 5:49 to go in the second half. Murphy with the rebound. He drives, and there's Fain for Illinois State.
A great inside move by Murphy, but you got to finish. Tree's going to run out of time here, John.
They are. It's getting late.
Made a nice run.
That pass went off Murphy, out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock for Illinois State.
Made a really nice run, but the Redbirds just kind of buckled down, strapped up their shoelaces. The defensive end.
And from the free throw line, Indiana State is 2 for 7. 9 out of 16 for the Redbirds.
Missed opportunities.
Lee, he gets the ball back, gets control. Fain and Clayton with time running out on the shot clock. That's a violation. Turnover, Illinois State. 5:12 left in the second half.
A little panic there. No awareness of the shot clock.
Clemens in the front court, coming down to 5 minutes left in the game. Scott. Short. Lee.
Boy, Scott had a good look.
He had a good look, but 4 red jerseys around the basket and only 1 for Indiana State. Lee in the front court now for Illinois State. And contact made with McIntosh. He has that mindset, give me the ball, and here we go.
Well, he's got Everett Clemens at 6'1", 185 pounds guarding him. Mikyle McIntosh at 6'7", 235. He's smelling blood in the water.
McIntosh, 28 minutes. Here's another free throw coming his way.
And Indiana State trying to send a second defender to help Everett Clemens as he is undersized, but McIntosh so quick on the catch and the move.
He has 28 today, adding to his career high.
And they're effortless. So smooth.
And he's 7 out of 9 from the free throw line. McIntosh goes to the bench.
Scores. Like he breathes. I think it looks easy.
Clemens can't score it. Fain got in his way and got the rebound. Four and a half minutes to go in the game. Lee quickly in and shoots over the freshman. And Lee has 13. He averages 13.5 a game as he scored over Jordan Barnes.
Lee is deadly with those floaters, especially going with his left hand.
Barnes. Great feed for the dunk by Murphy.
Well, Barnes jump stopped, kept his feet in the ground, and Murphy circles behind the vision of the help-up defender. Excellent offense by Indiana State.
74-52, Illinois State. Lee on the bounce for Fain. Lee finds Fain open. Only to have Will swat the ball back out to midcourt to Fain, and a new clock for Illinois State with 3.5 minutes left. And that's out of bounds off Lee. Barnes got a hand in there. Brandon Murphy, the junior from Montgomery, Alabama, has scored 6 of his 8 points in the second half. Just like that, 74-52, Illinois State. Our game reset made possible by Purina Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926. One more foul for Indiana State, and Illinois State will shoot 2 the rest of the game, and the Sycamores have 2 timeouts to the Redbirds 1. The possession arrow favors the Sycamores, who have the ball after the timeout.
The Sycamores struggled in the first half at 33%, but have been at 50% here in the second half as they've made a run, but not enough time left.
Clemens is fouled by DJ Clayton. Clayton has 3 fouls. And Everett will go to the free throw line where he's 1 for 2 and has scored 12 points today.
Clemens much more aggressive in the second half, driving the ball in the paint time and time again, kicking it out to shooters or being aggressive at the rim himself.
In play now with 3:19 to go. Clemens shoots for his 14th point. A 20-point lead. And now the Sycamores will drop back and guard half court. Now Illinois State will spread the floor, eat up some of the shot clock as we come down to 3 minutes. And now under 3. McIntosh all the way in. Van Soik could not keep up with him. That's his 3rd foul. Today's date in MVC history is brought to you by the 2017 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. January 7th, 2002, Sean Jepson scored a game-high 27. Randy Rice had 6 steals as Illinois State defeated Wichita State 81-71 at Redbird Arena. All Valley Roads converge in St. Louis March the 2nd through the 5th as Arch Madness returns for a 27th consecutive year. For more information, visit archmadness.com.
Well, McIntosh has been perfect from distance at 5 for 5. He struggled a bit from the free throw line. You can put a hand in his face.
But he goes 1 for 2 here and has scored 29, extending his career high.
It's difficult to guard the Redbirds when they're going to burn clock. They have so many ball handlers. Hawkins can handle it. McIntosh can handle it along with the guards.
Kessinger off the glass too high. McIntosh is there, and Kessinger couldn't take it away. 5 different Redbirds have made a 3-ball today in this 75-54 lead as the Redbirds are trying to go 4-0 out of the gate in the Missouri Valley Conference.
You can see McIntosh playing the Suedo point guard position.
Hawkins couldn't drive in on Barnes. 5 on the shot clock. Hawkins takes the long shot. McIntosh with the rebound and the basket.
Who else?
31 for Mikyle McIntosh.
Number 11. He's done everything tonight. He's been the Swiss Army knife for the Redbirds. Start with the offense, rebound it, post it up, knock in the 3-ball. And Wills, excellent at the defensive end.
Matt Hine, number 5, comes in for Illinois State. Evans, and there is a drive and a foul. As DeMonte Ojanaka will go to the free throw line. Andre Washington, number 15, with the foul. Ojanaka with a chance to score with 2 minutes, inside 2 minutes to play. He has another one coming up. Trey Knight, the 3rd, also in the game for Indiana State. And the rebound by Njai. Illinois State will go to 12-4, 4-0 in the Missouri Valley. Indiana State, 6-10, 0-4. And you some rough losses in the first 4.
Other than that huge win over Butler by Indiana State, the most impressive non-conference win by any Valley team, as Butler was ranked number 15 when they came in. Of course, Butler gives Villanova their first loss last week.
And a shot clock violation. That will give the ball to Indiana State with 1:22 to go.
And Illinois State with another road test as they go to Carbondale before the matchup with the Shockers.
That's in normal. While Indiana State will play at Drake on Wednesday.
Illinois State has to take care of business, and that won't be easy against the Salukis. Barry Hinson's crew. Big game today for them at Missouri State.
Knight looking for Barnes, and that's a 3 for Barnes. He has 14. That's his 4th three-point field goal today.
Well, the freshman looks like he's in junior high, but he plays like a senior.
77-58, Illinois State.
When you look at the Valley this year, John, top to bottom, I think is as strong as ever. The teams that were at the bottom got better this season. Bradley's gotten better. Loyola's a better team, even though the record hasn't shown it, but I like the Loyola team. And of course, Missouri State off to a great start.
24 seconds to go. Franklin will shoot for 2. Washington with the rebound for the Redbirds. 15 seconds to go. Williams across the line, picks up the dribble, and time is running out on the Sycamores, who dropped to 0-4 and 6-10 in the league. Illinois State 14-4, 4-0 in the Missouri Valley, going 4-0 for the first time since 2007-2008. Now let's check out our players of the game. A presentation of Aetna. Aetna invests in game-changing programs that make being healthy simpler and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com. And for the Redbirds, Mikyle McIntosh, a career-high 31.
Well, he was sensational. He scored in a variety of ways from the three-point line. Nice square up. He rings the bell. Got to the free throw line. And for the Sycamores, the freshman playing beyond his years, Jordan Barnes, 14 points, knocked down 4 triples. I like that young man. Huge upside from the youngster from St. Louis. 14 points for the Sycamores, but not enough as this impressive win by Illinois State. And they have not won at the Holman in 9 seasons, the Redbirds. This is a big game as they start off 4-0.
Well, our final score today from the Holman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. Illinois State 77, Indiana State 58. Our next Missouri Valley Conference game of the week, presented by Aetna, is coming up Saturday, January 7th, as Illinois State will take on, our next presentation is coming up on Wednesday. Should be from Carver Arena in Peoria, as the Bradley Braves play host to the Panthers of Northern Iowa. And our coverage begins at 8 p.m. Central. For Kevin Lehman, I'm John Rooney. So long from Indiana State.